All right, so I have people who are stalking me. Today I got back from shopping for groceries, and the thing that these people would do is they will go through my notepad, and who's ever breaking in my apartment, they will fold the corners of the pieces of paper and they will rip them off, and they just mark up like my notepads. They move things and they place things differently and they do things to my stuff to let me know that they were here. The people who are breaking in my apartment and doing stuff to my stuff, they fold the corners of my papers like this. They fold the corners of my papers. They folded this shit twice. Look, they folded this shit twice. I'm about to unfold it, and then they folded it again, right? So they folded it, and then they folded it again. They folded it once, they folded it twice, and they folded it 3 fucking times. So the people who broke in my apartment, what they do is they fold the corners of my pieces of paper, right? The things that they do is they fuck with the corners of papers, and they mess with the papers, they mark the papers, they're like mess up the edges and fuck with the corners. They love fucking with the corners of the papers. Their number one thing to do with the corners of the papers is to fold it a bunch of times to let you know you didn't do that shit. Look how I have the closets. These are the closets that I have inside my apartments. I tied this shit, right? Because when I first found out that people were getting access to my apartments, the doors to the rooms that I have in my apartments, I tied that shit together. And then it was like everything stopped for the longest fucking time. But when I had tied the rooms together, there was like a whole bunch of commotion with the people below me. They were arguing and shit, but they wasn't saying no words. So they crazy as fuck, and that's how deep they're cut into each other. That's how well they know each other. They was fucking arguing without words. And you know what? Since I grew up very well socialized and I met so many people in my life, and I've known people for more than 10 years in my life, I know how people can be. I lived in this fucking apartment for almost a year. For the first 5 months I lived in this apartment, I didn't have a job. I had money. I wasn't that down bad, but I got to know these people scheduled below me. And these motherfuckers, they never listen to music. They never watch TV. They never be on the phone. They never be talking. They barely have people over, right? But then I had some neighbors who was listening to music. They was having people over there. They seemed kind of normal. But the thing is, you don't know what somebody's going through. So I move in this apartment and I'm going through something, right? And I'm not really my best self. So these motherfuckers, they thinking something about me that ain't true, right? Because you don't know me. I'm fucking 20 plus some years old. You don't know how I was when I was a little boy. You don't know how I was when I was a preteen. You don't know how I was when I was in fucking middle school. You don't know how I was when I was in fucking high school. You don't know how I was when I went to fucking college, right? You don't know me at all the fucking stages of my life, but you want to look at me and you want to assume some shit. And you want to assume that you're going to be breaking in my apartment and fucking with my shit, and I'm not going to notice that shit. I got people who are able to gain access to the inside of my apartment, and they're letting me know that they're gaining access to the inside of my apartment by doing very specific and certain things to my stuff. I know that you can keep the plastic on something for years, right? The toaster oven that I had got for a deal, the plastic, nothing was wrong with the plastic. I never had anything wrong with the plastic until I moved to the apartments where I'm living at now, right? But the thing is, this is the fucked up thing, right? Nothing started happening to the plastic until 3 months that I brought it to my apartment and I started going to work. You gonna tell me ain't nothing fucking happening to the plastic on my toaster oven for 3 months, right? Nothing happened to the plastic, because that's the type of motherfucking person I am. I keep the plastic on my shit and I take care of my stuff a certain type of way. When I get something that's nice, I know how to take care of it. I know how to make it last, just like with my shoes. But then 3 months in of me having my toaster oven here in my apartment, and then I start going to work, that's when my toaster oven's plastic is going to start coming off. And, you know, the plastic to my fucking heater is going to start coming off, and the labels of things are going to start coming off, and the labels are just going to start mysteriously coming off the fucking plastic. I ain't never had a fucking Dawn soap container coming undone by itself. Really? Like I ain't never had no fucking soap container where there's just a bubble hole. There's so much soap and you using it so much that I came home from work one day and this shit was just fucking open. Like, I be coming home from work and I be coming home from going to the fucking store and going to do shit, and I come back and like my shit is like different. They be folding the papers to my notepads, they be ripping the labels up to stuff, but then when I start coming home from going to work, and remember, I didn't work for 5 months, so I know these motherfuckers' schedule, right? I know how they be acting because I remember shit. I'm like the type of motherfucker, if you want to fuck with me, I'm bringing you down with me. Fuck that shit. You ain't gonna be fucking with my life and fucking me up. When I first got my toaster oven, I only pressed it with my finger because I wanted to keep the plastic on there. I don't want the plastic coming off my toaster oven, right? But like, I started going to work and I'm coming back and there's all these marks up on the plastic and I'm just like, what the fuck happened? Like, right now, my toaster oven, bro, this shit don't even look like it's been owned by me. Like, the people who are breaking in my shit, they really don't know who the fuck I am and they don't know how I take care of my shit, bro. I have had plastic on appliances and things that I bought for years. I had a Game Boy, bro. I had a motherfucking Game Boy and the plastic was on that bitch for like 2 years. You can't tell me shit, bitch. The fuck are you talking about? And you just gonna be breaking in my shit like I'm some dumbass motherfucker who ain't gonna be able to figure out you breaking in my shit. I don't know who the fuck y'all people are who is fucking with me, but I'm gonna find out and I'm gonna do something about that shit. The lady who lives below me, she lives with a guy. She was sitting outside one day in the hall pretending to be homeless. There's a dark-skinned black lady who lives below me. She's older than me. She has at least one other dude who's dark-skinned and he's bald. He's got a beard and he lives with her. They live below me, right? And so she was in the hall one day and she was pretending to be homeless. And she was talking about some BS. I told her she needed to leave, but her and the dude below me, they was trying to size me up, and she pretended to be homeless in the hall. And then her dude was sitting on the bottom of the steps. And when I had figured out that they was able to gain access to the inside of my apartment, they was arguing. The people who lived below me, they was arguing, and like 3 or 4 families moved out. So there's multiple people in these apartments who know about being able to gain access to other people's apartments through other apartments. I'm guessing that they like a family or something. And now the apartment building I live in, it's like only me and the people who live below me. The people who live to my right, they're gone. The people who lived below them are gone. The people who lived across from the people who are to my right, gone. It's like, after I found out that somebody was breaking into my apartment, all these families moved out and all these people moved out. There's only a few older people who stayed, and the people below me, they stayed, but they able to gain access to the inside of my apartment. Check this shit out. When I first started going to work and I would come back from work and they would do stuff to my stuff and they would mess up my things, when I would notice they started playing music and they would watch TV like they was fucking celebrating that shit, right? Deadbolt on my fucking door, right? That you need a code to, that you need a fingerprint to open. So I know they're not getting through the front door. The first time I discovered they was coming in my apartment through the fucking closet, everything stopped. My stuff stopped being messed up and destroyed, and it stopped looking funny. You know, nothing was happening. Nothing weird was happening when I closed off the doors to both of these rooms. So I'm gonna have to close off the doors to both of these rooms, because you seen how many times I unfolded the paper in the beginning of this video. I never fucking fold my paper like that. And it was folded 4 times. The first page of my notepad, the first page is gonna be folded 4 times. I would never do that. There was a big ass fucking hole right here, right? Big enough for me to go in and go throughout these apartments. But I took this, I super glued this up here. People will
set something up really easy that you can figure out to make you think that you're smart. That was made to make me feel like I was smart.
Somebody could gain access to my apartment. There's a big ass fucking hole in the side of my wall. Let me close up the hole. Now nobody has access to my apartment.
That's what they wanted me to think. They thought they was gonna have me feeling good about myself and, oh, I'm so smart, I'm gonna close up this hole. Somebody could get access to my apartment.